Hello, welcome to My Life on Paper. I am Brianna and I am so glad you are here today. I am doing a layout for the Crafting Dragon Design team. I'm also doing a layout for Scraptumber and the Scrappy Sisters. Today our prompt is metal. I'm also using this sketch by Scrap a Sketch. I will have the information listed below, and it is sketch one, number 139. So here are the printables. Oop, I just whisked them away, but on the left-hand side there are the printables from Crafty Dragon Designs. And I am starting off with my distress inks. So I do believe this is dried marigold that I am using. And I start off with these are my, I don't want to say old, but these are the brushes that I had and I was using. I recently got new ones, and they're these, oh, wait, that's not it. Gosh darn it. Okay, so this is the second kind I have, and it's just a little bit different. You can change out the heads of the what do you call it? The sponge on the end. But I did recently get a new type of applicator, a new brush, and that's gonna be gonna be coming what I have in a moment. I think this is tea dye that I'm using, and you can also see the black soot up there. And I really want it to blend the colors together and get that effect that's kind of on the paper on the left hand side there. That is from Crafting Dragon Designs that I printed on my printer. And so that's my inspiration. Not that I was trying to get exact. Well, and I knew I wasn't going to get exactly, but I didn't want a stark white background. I didn't want a black background. So I'm just trying this out, knowing that if it goes uh, south at all, it goes bad, that I would just start over and try something else. So here is this bigger brush that I have. Um, I have been watching Janet from Galaxy Girls Creations, and she was the one that was using these and had a link in her description box. So I will leave, hopefully, the link in my description box. If you're looking for it and I don't put it down there, please ask me, but I should be putting it down in the description box. It was from Amazon. And I really liked the size of it, and it makes this go so much faster. I'm gonna get the black soot out on the edges, and then there's not a brush for every color. So I'm using the blue brush for the black, and then I made sure that it was kind of wiped off, and then I'm also using it for the gray. And so then I'm bringing it back in and checking. Now I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to grab out a couple more colors, and you're going to see it there. So there was kind of a pink color. I grabbed, let's see, Victorian Velvet as well as Tattered Rose, and those are both on there. And I probably put more black soot on there as well. So these are the tags from Crafting Dragon Designs, and metal is the prompt from the craft from the Scrappy Sisters. And I got to tell you, I didn't use a lot of metal, but I'm using they're brads, but they kind of look like screws. I didn't want anything shiny, like bright metal shiny on these this Halloween collection. So I'm using the ones that look like screws, and I think they look really nice, but that's the only metal that goes on here. So I have photos of Meredith. Meredith was at our house last year for trick-or-treating, and she did hand out the candy, and she dressed as a cow, and it was very cute. This picture on the bottom is the two dogs, and that's how they like to peek out the window, the front door window. They'll both stand up there on their behind legs, and so that's very cute. So that's going on there as well. And then the next one is is a picture from our Ring camera, and it's just, you can't tell who anybody is. It's just kind of that the fact that the trick-or-treaters are coming to the door. So I'm going to back those first two pictures on black paper, and the photos are 3 by 3, and I think I did 3.5 by, I don't know, 6.5. And when I go to do the other one, it's 3.5 by 4.5. It just seemed too big, so I did trim that one down to 3.25 by 4.25. So they have different size mats. Now I am trimming this piece of paper down a little bit. I want to keep as much as possible because it's just so, I don't know, it's so cool and Halloweeny, and just it was my inspiration for the whole page. So instead of the background paper on the left and the right of the middle paper, I'm using these tags kind of to represent that. And then as far as the journaling spot goes, I have one of the frames that go along with this collection that I trimmed out, and then I didn't put it on stark white paper. It's this off white that I backed it with. And I had ahead of time I had punched out that uh border punch on the that goes up and down the photo, and I don't know if you can tell it, but they're bats. It's a punch that does just a line of bats. So I thought that was pretty appropriate. I'm going to bring out these silhouettes and then I'm going to use a couple of those, and then I'm going to get things lined up. So it's going to move around a little bit because originally I thought I'd use this on the left hand side, but I just felt like it was going to get covered up too much. And then I pull out um, a different tag. So I try that, but and then I try the two small tags. I'm just trying to get something to work. So then eventually I decide the two small tags can go on the left-hand side. And then this tag, nope, I don't like that one because it's covering up the bat. But this one's a little bit, there's not much behind on that part of the tag. So I feel okay covering it up. And then I'm still going to bring, or maybe I don't do it right now. But what I am doing is I know that the stuff that's on the right-hand side of the page here is what I want. I don't know placement exactly, so I'm going to glue or I'm going to adhere the pieces to each other, knowing that I can slide them left, right, up, down if I need to, which I don't know, which is a good idea at this time. I still don't have the placement of everything, but I do have that border where I want it. I don't know if I glued down the silhouette yet on the top there, but it's gonna go about there. And then I'm gonna work on the left hand side. So I'm gonna go back to using this big tag, like where the background paper is, but then I want to use these two tags kind of to carry that color and that down to the bottom of the page. Okay, and so now I don't have the brad in there yet, so I will put the brad in there. And then if you can see, like I layer the journaling spot over the tag, but not completely so that you could see the bottom of the tag. That was like really important to me to make sure I could see the bottom of the tag and where it ended. It just was visually more pleasing for me. So now I will go ahead and adhere it all down to the background paper because I think, yep, this is exactly where I want it. And everything gets glued down. I am not using my ATG right now. I'm using this other adhesive that I have a bunch in my drawer, so I've got a bunch of refills, so I'll be using this for a while. And then I'll go back to my ATG. So there's those two cute tags with the ghosts on the bottom. Oops, see, and then I didn't glue it on. I was thinking about putting it more off to the right, but I did like it in the middle there, and it's not, you don't lose any of the background paper. And then I've got this cute little witch silhouette. She moves around a little bit. I wasn't too sure where she was going to end up because honestly, the ghosts were kind of where yeah, according to the sketches, where she should have ended up. I didn't want it exactly, it looked too much across the page where I had it there, so I did move her down just a little bit, and that makes me happy. If you can see the little pieces, the black pieces of paper on the left-hand side, those are all the punch outs from the bat um, edge punch that I used. And at one point I thought maybe I would glue those down, but I do not end up gluing those down. Oh, I have these extremely old rub-ons and they're working, so I'm using them. There's orange ones that I didn't use. The orange was too bright with this paper, but I take the black ones. Now, some of them, I think Tombstones was one of them. It didn't come off the backing paper nice, so I just threw it out. But there's a crow, Wicked goes on there, and there is a couple more. I know a couple of these don't make it completely, so I have backup rub-ons waiting to be used. So I'm just laying out the rub-ons before I do rub them on. So there's RIP that's above the tag. Eerie is to the left under Meredith, and then Yikes goes under here. It was the same font as Wicked, so I didn't want it like lining up with anything, and that's why it ended up over on the right-hand side. RIP goes down, and I think Eerie doesn't make it, but we'll see in a minute. if that works or not. Like I said, they're old enough that some of them don't, some of it doesn't peel off correctly. So even just taking it off the backing strip, it came off in pieces. So I thought, "Ah, I'll just get rid of it." Um, I think I was lucky enough that most of these did work. Oh, there, I didn't have another one. I think that one just stays blank if I remember correctly. So I go into my stamps and I only have like one stamp set that's Halloween and I sure couldn't find it. So, I found this collection. It's close to my heart. And the stamp set is called A Little Everything. And so it has like celebrate and happy. Um, and then it has, oh, thanks. And then it has a whole bunch of little, words like Happy Thanksgiving. But I used Happy Halloween. I stamped it right onto the page. I was pretty proud of myself. All right. Well, that will complete the layout for me. Check out all the links below. And until next time, may your memories always have a home on paper.